This is my 23rd year, and I'm excited to be both part of Lakers Online and at the high school.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Graham. I've worked in the district now going on my 13th year. Very excited to be a part of Lakers Online and very excited to help expand the children's knowledge base.
I'm Stephanie Dene, and this is my 15th year in West Bloomfield, and I am super excited to be teaching 4th grade on Lakers Online.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Kaplan. This will be my 12th year teaching in West Bloomfield. I'm excited to be teaching 3rd grade at Lakers Online.
My name is Gianna Taylor, and I'm the ELA MTSS and School Improvement Coordinator, and I am mostly going to be trying to answer questions in the chat. So I'll be answering them privately so that you won't all get distracted by everyone's questions.
Hi everybody, my name is Amy Quinn and I am the Math and Science Coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lisa Tompkins. I will be the high school counselor. This will be my 18th year, and I look forward to working with you and your family.
And my name is Jennifer Bennett. I'm the principal of Lakers Online. I'm very excited to continue some partnerships that I've created in my last couple of years here in West Bloomfield. And prior to that, I've been a literacy coach. I've been a teacher and coach and assistant principal and principal. So had a lot of experience in different roles. So, and I'm also a parent of 3 children, so who are trying to navigate this online learning as well. So I look forward to continuing those partnerships and growing some new ones this year.
I'm Deanna Barish, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, and we want to welcome you this evening. We have a pretty informative presentation for you tonight. We've actually made some progress even from this morning's webinar. So if you had a student or a parent who attended this morning, you might have some inside information. We've made some progress on scheduling middle schoolers and high schoolers today. So we'll update everyone, but certainly you're going to get to hear it tonight as well. And we have a breadth of things we want to talk about. So technology, schedules, what a typical day might look like, materials, all those sorts of things. And so Gianna is the question answerer for today. So she does an excellent job. She and Amy Quinn typically monitor the Q&A. I would ask that you probably listen for a little while first. Often your questions are going to get answered as we go through this presentation. Of course, if not, and you want to get it into the chat, go right ahead, or into the Q&A. We do have a lot of things we'd like to share. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer, who's going to do some other introductions.
Of course, I forgot to unmute. So we're lucky to have Lisa Tompkins, our Lakers Online High School counselor, with us tonight, and she had a chance to introduce herself. Our middle school Lakers Online counselor, Susan Chang, and she was able to join us this morning. And so our counselors have a lot of experience working with students at these ages to help them fulfill their course requirements and help them choose the right courses for them. So they are working tirelessly to get information out to you. And so please, we appreciate all of your patience as we're working very hard to make these adjustments. As you all know, the last few weeks before school, we're all working really hard and things change. So we're kind of all in the same boat as Lakers Online staff, as well as our building staff. So with that, we wanted to kind of make sure we're all talking that same language with you. We all know that we're guilty of using those teacher terms sometimes. So we wanted to give you a few moments to make sure you were up to date with us in these terms. So with online learning, some hot, I guess, key terms are synchronous and asynchronous. So as you see here, Our synchronous learning is when we're learning together at the same time. I guess I could think of synchronized swimming, right? You get everybody goes in that same motion. So communication is happening in that real time. There's a lot of feedback, and the teaching and learning can often be more engaging because we have the opportunity to turn and talk in a Zoom setting, which might look like breakout rooms, which might look like students doing some different hand motions or holding up whiteboards. So that instant feedback, and students are maintaining that conversation, that discussion with their classmates as well as their teacher. And that looks like those live stream videos, those Zooms. So, so you see over here that kind of visual for that. Now the asynchronous is that flexibility of online learning, which we all can benefit from that as well. It gives us the opportunity for children or students at any age to really learn things again. They can watch a video again, play it back, pause it. That was, we learned that pretty quickly at home with my son, who's going to be in 6th grade. I taught him how to pause the video and take notes. So some of that work that we've kind of laid some groundwork for in the spring, your child's going to have that head start into this learning. So asynchronous learning looks like maybe communication that's an email, or the students are watching a video, or they're creating a video where the teacher will then give feedback to. So it can happen at different times of the day. And I just like synchronous learning, that feedback from the teacher is going to help support the child's next step in their learning process. But it really does allow children to work at their own pace. So there's not, in this latest research of the online learning, there's really not one that's better than the other. What they really suggest is a blended approach to asynchronous and synchronous learning to meet our students' needs. And that's what West Bloomfield's doing. And another perk about West Bloomfield's Lakers Online School is that, you know, we have our West Bloomfield teachers, who you got a chance to meet some of them, that have years and years of experience, that have a deep knowledge of their content, deep knowledge of how to engage and make relationships with students. And they are going to be able to deliver some of that content to your child, whereas many of the online settings that we've researched and looked into are coming to you with a kind of a video cartoon, and it's just not the same thing as what we're providing for you. So I'm very excited, but I'm also very proud to be leading alongside of these educators.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about schedules, and we're going to start with middle school. Often they get forgotten. I think yesterday was a middle child day, so this is perfect that today we're going to start with the middle schoolers, often the forgotten ones, sandwiched right in the middle. So we just want to make sure kind of to piggyback on what Jen just said about synchronous and asynchronous learning. A switch from what we did in the spring is something that you need to note here. So on a Monday, a student in grade 6th, 7th, or 8th would have a synchronous hour during 1st hour, 3rd hour, and 5th hour, and then asynchronous learning directly after that. So if you think about what a typical class, what might look like in a block schedule, that first part of the hour might be spent doing a mini lesson or a launch or whatever that direct instruction is that the students need. Maybe some group work where they would break into breakout rooms. Maybe the teacher has that opportunity to work in small groups with the students. And then the next part, so from 10 to 10:50, would be the asynchronous work. So whatever had been given to extend their learning or to practice what it was that they had learned during the synchronous time is what's happening directly after that. So unlike in the spring, where the middle school was primarily operating on 2 class periods per day or 3 class periods per day, and then really didn't have much synchronous work, this is a full school day. So if you notice, the day starts, regardless of whether you're in kindergarten or you're a senior, the school day is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Well, really, and it ends at 2:20 for them with 3:10 p.m. for them. So it's 9 o'clock to 3:10 for middle school, essentially the same times for elementary and for high school. This allows a little bit for that flexibility with parents. Our teachers will have from 8 to 9 for their planning time, for the opportunity to get their day started, to catch up on email, do all those sorts of things. So the real instruction will start at 9 a.m. Middle school students on odd days, which are Monday and Thursday, will have hours 1, 3, and 5. And then middle school students on even days, Tuesday and Friday, will have 2nd, 4th, and 6th hours. Mirrors exactly what they would have if they were in live instruction at West Bloomfield Middle School. You'll also see we built in a lunch break. That's really just trying to be as healthy as everything, right? So get up, have lunch, move around a little bit, take a little bit of a break, and then get ready to start your afternoon. Wednesdays are going to mirror exactly what we're doing with our blended instruction and then our fully virtual at the high school. So it will be asynchronous only. The teachers in Lakers Online are West Bloomfield teachers, and so no different than their counterparts who are teaching in person and or virtually at the high school. They are going to be participating in staff meetings on Wednesday, professional learning community meetings, so growing themselves professionally, and then obviously planning time to get ready for the lessons that they're delivering, grading papers, all those sorts of things. So for your children who will be at home with you, there'll be 30 to 50 minutes of asynchronous coursework per class. So think about hours 1 through 6. There's going to be some work that's expected on Wednesdays. Just won't mean that there'll be not any live instruction, but students will still have work to do. And then there's a really cool feature that we're adding, which is our seminar, really for every grade level. They will have college and career readiness. They'll work on their education and development plan, which is required by law, something they need to have that talks about what that next step is after they go to the high school and beyond. And then social emotional learning. Again, trying to make sure that we are taking care of the whole child. And so there'll be opportunities to work on their resiliency skills, talk about self-advocacy, really making sure that they're still connected. So that's what the typical middle school schedule will look like. You will find, I believe, that the schedules were linked on the Lakers Online website today. If not, please let me know. I did ask our Dan Durkin, our Director of Public Relations, to link those today. So I believe they got updated. I did see in the Facebook group, which I'll talk about in a minute, that they were looking for one that they could print. And so I think it is now on the website as well. This is the daily schedule for grades K through 5. And if again, it mirrors very similarly to what you just saw with middle school. There's a 9 to 9:20 morning meeting. Think about when we were in in-person instruction, that might be where you do calendar. That's where you do good things. That's where you might do number corner, any of those sort of check-in things just to make sure that students are ready to start the day. Then they have 40 minutes of the first core subject, which could be, and the core are referring to ELA, math, science, and social studies. And so students will have each of those core areas every day. There's an opportunity for movement and snack. Those are very important. Those are my favorite parts of the day. And so we want students not to be locked in front of their Chromebooks all day long. They need to have the opportunity to get up and move around and not be stuck in front of the device all day long. There's a lunch period that's built in. There's a specialist choice each day. So again, students in Lakers Online will have the opportunity to participate in music and phys ed, in art, and in media. And then there is asynchronous learning that's happening as well, that your students will be working on independently, as well as small group instructional time at the end of the day. So if I'm a 3rd grade teacher and I've taught a reading lesson that day, and we really need to work on guided reading, whatever that might be, so maybe we're working on a skill or a strategy, then I might invite you to a small group lesson from 2:10 to 2:30 that day. And so you would also be expected to log in at that time and to obviously complete that work and meet with the teacher. Again, different than what we had in the spring. This is a full day of instruction. So when you think about Lakers Online and your schedules and your home schedules, it'll be helping your children get back into the mindset that this is regular school. Even though it might not be in the building and you might not go outside with all your buddies to recess in the same way that you might have, this is school. And so it really lasts the entire school day. And then finally, we'll show the high school schedule. It is exactly what West Bloomfield High School would be doing. There's a reason for this. We are obviously governed by the Michigan Department of Education, and every school district in Michigan must go 180 school days and 1,098 hours of instruction. You must meet both of those criteria. And so we have to build schedules, whether they're virtual schedules or in-person schedules, that mirror those and meet those numbers of hours and days. So this is exactly the schedule that is being used at West Bloomfield High School. Different than what you just saw with K-8. The high school students will have odd and even days, so block schedule as usual, but their synchronous learning or live instruction will occur in the morning, so from 9 a.m. to 12:30. That's quite the reprieve from when you were in person and they were getting there at 7 a.m. Probably not so great since March 13th when they started to sleep in like they have at my house to much later in the day. So it's probably time to start getting back into that routine of getting up and being ready to go, because it is expected that students are online, ready to go, logged in at 9 a.m., regardless of grade, each and every day. This is a regular school. The attendance is expected, and school starts at 9 a.m. So high school students will participate in 50 minutes of live instruction. Again, could be a lesson, could be literally direct instruction, could be small group, could be an experiment, could be time to ask teachers questions, any sorts of things. But it is expected that both the teachers and the student are live during that time. There's a 10-minute break in between each hour. If you think about passing time, obviously they're not moving from classroom to classroom, but an opportunity to get up and stretch before the next class starts. There is a lunch break built in, and then students will have seminar from 1 to 2, where they might have or will have scheduled time individually or in small groups with any number of teachers that are teaching in Lakers Online. So perhaps we're getting ready to take a math assessment or to work on a math project or a social studies project, and we need to check your progress. You would be assigned to a time somewhere between 1 and 2, and you would check in with the teacher at that time. Additionally, there's 50 minutes of asynchronous work that needs to happen for each class period. So if I have I have American Lit first hour, I've been live with the American Lit teacher from 9 to 9:50. At some point in time, I have an additional 50 minutes worth of work that needs to be completed for that class. No differently than what we would do if we were in person. The difference is what I know in particular, I have 2 high schoolers in my house, is that they don't necessarily work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or they certainly don't work at 7 a.m. in the morning. So the asynchronous time is much more flexible and will probably better meet the needs of high school students. So they might not sit down to work on that asynchronous work until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening. And that's really, will be up to you as a family and certainly to the discretion of the teacher. But we recognize there needs to be that flexibility with our families and with our students to make sure that it works for them as well. So that's the examples of the schedules. They should be linked on the website now so you can go back. I would suggest printing them. I know that is old school as it comes, but it's a good visual reminder that you have where you're supposed to be each day, doing what, and then mom and dad know and the students know. So I would definitely take some time to print those out. I think the next slide is about scheduling. So I'll talk a little, if that's all right, Jen, if I talk through this a little bit. So this is a little different than where we were this morning, and this should excite Ms. Tompkins and Mrs. Chang very, very much. So we thought we were really going to be paddling upstream very quickly to try to build these master schedules. But by and large, most of you that are registered for Lakers Online were our students last year. And in the spring, you submitted course requests. And those course requests just transferred right into Lakers Online. And so today, kudos to Ms. Bennett and to the high school administrative team and the middle school administrative team and Morrison Borders. We basically built the master schedules for both middle school and high school today. And I see Lisa Thompson, she's clapping in the bottom because we were able to do that. We actually ran the scheduler for the middle school this afternoon, and it scheduled with 90% of the students scheduling with a full schedule. That's impressive. I know that's a lot of educational lingo. All I can tell you is that's amazing, and that means that things really lined up. We made good course selections. We were able to fulfill 90% of the kids who are in Lakers Online in middle school, their schedules scheduled accurately with the courses that they chose, which is really impressive with no conflicts. Of course, the other 10%, we're gonna have to do some work. They need to be hand scheduled. We need to have them make some choices, etc. High school schedule, we're gonna run the scheduler tonight, and the loader, that's what it's called, the loader tonight. see what percentage we come back with. But we really feel because we worked so carefully and closely with the high school, we should run with pretty good accuracy with that as well. So we feel very confident that we are not starting from scratch and pedaling uphill, but in fact that if you requested a course, that by and large, not 100%, but by and large, we're able to meet those needs, and we were able to schedule you into those courses. And if not, we will be in touch, and we'll have some options for you as well. So today we said, you're going to get this Google form, and you're going to need to select those things. Actually, it's going to be simpler than that, and you're not going to see that Google form today. And so we'll make sure that the people who are on the webinar this morning hear the same thing, because we have been able to successfully run the scheduler. There may be a Google form though, where we've had to change the electives slightly. And so we'll send it to those students who it impacts. It doesn't impact every student. We'll send it to those students it does impact, and then you'll have some choices to make. So we feel very confident that you're going to be pleased as parents and students with the schedules. We're very pleased. I can tell you that the counselors are probably jumping for joy right now, because we are not starting from scratch, and it's going to make our timelines much more manageable to get schedules into your hands as well. So kind of ignore the little blurb on the side about how quickly we need to have your selections back, because we do feel like we're in much better shape now, and we'll be working in a much smaller capacity with groups of students who need to make maybe one choice, just to make sure that we're offering what we need to. So we'll get that word out to everybody that was in this morning as well, but you should feel very confident and very excited that we were able to meet that. If you're new to us, you are a Lakers Online School of Choice student, or you're returning to the district, so welcome back. Maybe you were in another school setting and you're rejoining West Bloomfield Schools, and you don't have a schedule, we will be in touch. So we have not shut you out of any courses. We've left plenty of wiggle room. We'll be in touch to get you scheduled. So we don't want you to panic about that either. So that's our update about scheduling at this point in time.
Thank you. Okay. So let me get back to there. Okay. So I did want to talk a little bit about our expectations. So because we're online, we know that things are looking a little bit different, but we've done a nice job, our coordinators and coaches, and have really worked the summer to provide professional development for teachers in lots of areas, one being technology, culture and diversity, our social emotional learning. So our teachers have worked many hours to become more proficient at teaching online. So we know it's our job to make highly engaging lessons, to ask questions with our students, and to engage them in order to help them meet their full potential. So we ask students to also give us that effort with our attendance, first thing in the morning and throughout the day. Also being a part of that active participation in the lessons. Of course, we know that there are times when students will need to choose to participate in different ways, whether it's typing in the chat, raising hands, thumbs up, thumbs down, or having their video on and talking. So we know that our teachers will work with individual students in smaller groups as well, or one-on-one, so that students feel comfortable in the online setting to participate and be active members of the community. So we ask your help in helping your child find a space at home to learn in, as well as please know that we of course continue to adhere to our student code of conduct in West Bloomfield schools. So we know that that academic integrity is important, that our students are providing their thoughts, their thinking on paper and virtually. So same goes for our 6 through 12 students. We know that it's easy to be very passive learners, so our teachers are working to find different ways to activate students online. So again, just hoping that we've kind of worked through some of the bugs of how to get to breakout rooms and everything, so that we're going to kind of hit the ground running this fall. but we will of course help you if you're having technology issues. We don't want that to be a barrier to anyone's learning. Okay, so did you want to touch base at all, Mrs. Barish or Mrs. Quinn, about
Sure. I'm going to jump right into Power School. So in the next few days, you're definitely going to be getting a lot of emails, and it's super important that your email that is listed in Power School is updated. That is how we will be sharing class lists and lots of important information. So please make sure that you have an updated email address in Power School. I would like to talk a little bit about Canvas. Canvas is our new learning management system. What it really is our digital learning environment. And we do have Canvas 101 coming up next week. We have 2 times, 10 o'clock and 6 p.m. So I'm just gonna give you kind of a sneak peek about Canvas tonight. So on the left, you'll see that picture. You can kind of tell, it's got the W for West Bloomfield. So you're going to be logging in through westbloomfieldsd.instructure.com. You'll be using your password and your email that we will be providing for you, and making sure you have the correct one and that the students are ready to go. And then once they log in, any course that they're a part of, that will be in their dashboard. So that second picture there, that's a picture of the dashboard. That's called card view. So the little cards are actually some courses. And on the next slide, I went into a little bit more detail so you could see the home page. So we have 2 kind of like templates that will really support our teachers, making it easy for their students and parents to navigate through Canvas. So this is just an example. On the left would be an elementary example. That particular one, the teacher has a screencast kind of introducing themselves. The one on the right is a high school example, biology. And you can kind of see at the bottom of the high school example that those little buttons are called quick access buttons. So any kind of information that we'd like our students or parents to get to quickly, there's a quick access button, and different ways to navigate. And on the next slide, I have pictures of some other really neat features that Canvas has to offer. So the way it will be organized is through modules. Within a module, teachers are able to add a page, a quiz, that could even be like an exit ticket, have a discussion, and that could be a discussion with other students in the class or even just with the teacher, and then also an assignment. And at the top left, those little yellow sticky notes, those are more examples of the quick access buttons. And then below that, you can see a little video. And so another feature that we have is something called Studio. So teachers are able to make a screencast, but the level of engagement is lifted because they can ask some questions and have some discussions within the video as the students are watching. And then on the right, that is an example of probably one of our favorite things that Canvas has to offer, which is being able to give quick feedback. And the feedback, you can see there in that example, the teacher was able to type some written feedback, but also do a quick video to kind of share some insights. And then I also wanted to mention that Zoom is embedded right in, and other very popular apps that we use. And it is very smooth with the Google integration, which you will see. All right, some more to come next week, and we hope to see you there.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Quinn. So just in the beginning of the year, things to think about. We have Chromebooks ready to distribute. I actually, as I saw today, I was entering the high school to do some planning. They've got the tent set up, and they've got their gloves on, their masks on. Our families are driving through and picking up Chromebooks. We have links on our next couple slides. So, and we'll make this presentation available on our website as well. So you can click on those links. but they're also updated on our website. So you can set up a tech request and in order to pick up your Chromebook. So there's updates to those Chromebooks. It's really important that you have updated Chromebooks. As I mentioned before, our curriculum is West Bloomfield curriculum. It aligns with our Common Core standards, all of the standards that we adhere to in our elementary, middle school, and high school setting. So what's nice about those resources that are aligned with those is that they've been through committee work, they're research-based. Your child is used to those resources and will continue to use the online textbooks and resources that they've been using. So it should transition seamlessly for them. Also, we have some materials available that will support their online learning that are hands-on materials. Those will be ready and you'll get emails regarding that for pickup after Labor Day. But really what we know, what's best practice and what we've done for years and years is that start the beginning of the school year with creating our social contract, establishing that positive class culture, those structures and routines that we do in a classroom that's going to continue in an online setting. We're going to help our students get used to Canvas. We'll also kind of review some of those foundational learnings from the spring so that we can kind of hit the ground running as we build that stamina for learning again. So we're excited to support you and our teachers with all of these resources in the online setting.
So we have some important dates that we'd like to share with you. And again, this presentation will be available. It's already on our website. I think I've seen it posted other places as well, certainly on the Lakers Online page and social media. So these are some tough deadlines for us to meet, but we're going to do our very best to do so. So class placements, if you're in kindergarten through 5th grade, you'll find out who your teacher is next Wednesday, August 19th. Just to give you a little perspective on where we are across the district, our in-person students in kindergarten through 5th grade are getting their class placements on Monday afternoon. So we are just a couple days later, which is pretty good because we've been pushing the envelope to get things into place. And so you'll get your class placement. You'll know who your teacher is on Wednesday the 19th. And we hope, knock on wood, that we'll also be able to make course schedules available for our 6th graders through seniors as well. That one is just a little more tenuous just because there is some hand scheduling that needs to take place and so forth, but we feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to meet this timeline. And so that's when our secondary students will be able to see which hours they have each course and who their teachers are. That information will come via PowerSchool and a message from School Messenger. It is extremely important that your email address that we have on file for you, which is uploaded into PowerSchool, is correct. So if you are not getting our emails, it might be that is an issue, or maybe it's going to your spam, but you need to make sure, or maybe you blocked us because you're tired of hearing, which I would understand. We've been in communication a lot. Please unblock us. I promise you, this is all really important information. And so it will give you all that information in PowerSchool. One thing you should know about PowerSchool is, I just logged in to my son's information this week, and I didn't remember my password because it's really been a couple months since I've had to go in and look. So next week as well, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, you're going to get an email that has directions along with screenshots of how to log into PowerSchool, along with your PowerSchool login information. So your username and your password, and then you'll change your password. And then also is information about how to log into Canvas. What's nice is that your Canvas login is the same as what your PowerSchool login is. So they are linked, which makes it very, very convenient. And so you'll want to go in. That's how you'll get your information about your course schedules, high school and middle school students. Elementary students, you'll get an email that will have your teachers' names, but you're going to want to get into Canvas and make sure that you can see your teacher's homepage. And some of them have videos uploaded, and so it's a good first experience. So that's next Wednesday, the 19th. Another opportunity to pick up Chromebooks is also on Wednesday from 8 a.m. to noon. And as Ms. Bennett said, it's at West Bloomfield High School. That's where you collect your Chromebook. It is expected that every student get a West Bloomfield Chromebook, a brand new, they've not right out of the box Chromebook from the district. I've had several parents, and I've seen it out there on social media. Why do we need it? We have a device at home. We understand that. But there is some software that we're going to push onto those Chromebooks that's proprietary. That means it needs to be loaded from our network. It's managed by our network. It's managed by our people in order to do things like NWEA testing, some other things as well that are KRA. There's some things that are very specific to the software that we need to have on your computer. So you need to have a West Bloomfield issued Chromebook. Maybe you still have a Chromebook that we issued you last spring and you haven't turned it in yet. No problem. When you pull up at the high school, you can hand them the old Chromebook and they're going to give you the new one. It is touchless, so if you don't want to come into contact with any of our people, then you can pop your trunk. We'll place it in the back. You do need an ID because the Chromebook is checked out to your child, and so it goes into their library account. And so that's the only thing that you need to have, and they'll put it in the trunk and you can drive away. It is a seamless process. It's worked very, very well for the last 2 weeks. So if you've not gotten a Chromebook, tomorrow is another day. It is the last makeup day before our next makeup day. But if you have time tomorrow, I would stop by the high school and collect your Chromebook. They are there tomorrow. And then obviously then again next week for a couple of days. Thursday the 20th, as Ms. Quinn mentioned, we're doing Canvas 101 for parents and students. It really is an awesome tool, a really awesome tool. And so we'll have two opportunities for you, one at 10 a.m. and one at 6 p.m. What you'll do is kind of watch what we're doing, and you can have Canvas open in a separate window and you can follow right along. So you can log in, you can see what we're showing you. There should be lots of really awesome examples for you. We'll show you how to download the app to your phone so you could have access to, as moms and dads, as much or as little notifications as you want. For my sons, as I said this morning, when I'm lucky enough that they managed to get their work turned in, then I get a notice that says their work was turned in. I know where they are for attendance. I know where they are if there's a schedule change in the school. All that stuff comes directly as a pop-up in my phone. If that's way too much, no problem. You can turn all those things off, but we want to show you that as well. Same for students. So it will be very informative. It will be open it up in your window on your computer, follow right along, and do it with us. Sometimes that's the easiest way to learn. So I promise you it's going to be worthwhile next week. Friday the 21st is if we have some last minute courses that we need to get out there. Again, if you're new to us, you're new to West Bloomfield and you're a secondary student, you might not have course schedule requests. You won't have course schedule requests. So we'll be following up with you next week. So it may be a few days later. It's kind of our default. If we just can't meet our Wednesday secondary deadline, we promise you'll have your classes by Friday the 21st. That's before school starts. You'll be just fine. Second Chromebook opportunity is the 25th, the day before school starts, again at West Bloomfield High School. That's like desperation at that point in time. I hope you have it before then. Since school starts on Wednesday, August the 26th, we'll be talking about an open house, a virtual open house, where you all will be able to meet your teacher and kind of look around their classroom, their Canvas classroom, get some questions answered, all those kinds of things. Just as a reminder, there is no school on Friday, August the 28th, no school on Friday, September 4th, or Monday, September 7th. And so that's important to note that we don't have school those days. We will not be adjusting the instructional calendar. So, for instance, Friday, September 4th is a day off. That doesn't matter. Monday, September 7th is a day off. That typically would be a live instruction day. We're not flopping them. So it won't be a live instruction day. Tuesday will be live instruction. Wednesday would be asynchronous. Thursday and Friday that week would also be live instruction. We're going to follow to a T the instructional calendar. We also follow, obviously, the West Bloomfield calendar. So if we know we have a holiday in September, and so we follow that same schedule. There'll be no Lakers Online on the same day that the district is not in session. So I know that question has come up several times as well. I know that we had questions this week. I saw about class lists, about school supplies. Because you go to Meijer, you go to Target, or you go to Walmart, and they all have their school supplies out, and it looks rather forlorn because no one's buying any school supplies right now. We do know that there's some teachers that might have some things that they suggest. You are not required to purchase ever, but some things they might like you to have. And so we'll be working with the teachers. We have staff meetings tomorrow. if there are things that we think are suggested things that you might want to have at home, we'll get that information out to you as well. Again, super important that you're checking email and so forth. If you have not joined it yet, there is a Facebook group that is West Bloomfield Laker Online Parents. And so I'm sure they'd be happy, a little plug for the parents who started it, they'd be happy to have you join. I've seen some really good information out there. It's also a nice support network for you. I try not to read too much because then I would spend all night answering things that I see in the chat or on comments. So I try not to, but if there are just things I can't help myself, then I will jump in and try to answer and clarify, especially if there's something that just seems to be really amiss. And so I would suggest you might want to look for that and join that group. It should be a nice support group for you as well. And then finally, I just want to say, I have to give a huge thank you to the district, particularly to our Board of Education, our administrators, our teachers, all of you as parents who are willing to really take this on this journey with the rest of us. I know, as Ms. Bennett said, there are districts across the area that are doing very different virtual experiences than what we're going to do. And when someone asked, what's your vision, my vision for this program for Lakers Online, it's to be the premier online courses out there. It's the premier program that we could ever possibly want. We are offering West Bloomfield teachers, West Bloomfield curriculum and resources, live instruction every day, rigorous, meaningful interactions with teachers and with peers. We have support with counseling. We have a principal. We're hiring a dean of instruction, so someone to provide support to teachers and students. We'll have interventionists as need be. We really are running a fully virtual school that mirrors a bricks and mortar school almost to a T, as best you can when you have students learning from home. With that said, this is our first time doing this. And so there are going to be bumps and there are going to be snags. There are going to be things that we're going to say, I don't know, we're still working on that. And we will get answers for you, I promise. But what you would much rather hear is, we don't know, we're working on it, than us to tell you something that we are not prepared to answer. And so maybe it's not quite as accurate as we'd like it to be. We are working literally round the clock to make sure that this goes off seamlessly, that it is a quality experience for your children and a quality experience for you. And so please give us a little forgiveness if we're not back to your email within 24 hours. We see you. We know that you're anxious. We know you have questions. I promise we will be in touch. It's just taken us some time to get caught up. Hopefully, we were able to answer many of your questions tonight. Again, we'll make sure that this is on the website. We are hosting staff meetings tomorrow by level, so elementary, middle, and high school. We feel like that probably will also help to clarify some of their questions. And from that, I would anticipate that we'll have another communication out to all of you sometime over the weekend or early next week, just to keep you in the fold. So please make sure you're checking email. Please make sure that you're, asking questions if need be, or seeking answers from our website. The Lakers Online website has a lot of information. And in fact, we'll put this presentation, we'll make sure that any communication that Jen sends out, any communication that we need from technology, will all be housed on that website too. So that's sort of your hub to get much of your information. So with that,
Jana?
Yes, Jana. I saw you.
There are two questions that have come up a lot and I don't know the answer. So one of them is, will Lakers Online follow snow days? That is a very popular one.
Well, we probably won't have snow days anymore. Not that it's not going to snow. Of course it's going to snow, although that would be fine. But it is going to, I really believe, this is Deanna Barish talking, okay? But the fact that we are able to do remote learning, that all of our students have Chromebooks, that we have Canvas at our fingertips, that our teachers have become experts in online learning, quite frankly, I'm not sure we'll ever have snow days again. Because what we'll be able to say is, well, today we're not able to make it in, but you know what? You can log into Canvas and I'm going to be on my Zoom at 9 o'clock and I'll look forward to seeing you. And no problem. You never have to leave the comfort of your own home. So I suppose, Dr. Hill's not real generous with snow days anyway. I'd say that even if you were listening. And so I don't anticipate that if we get lucky and we get a snow day or two, I would think we probably would continue with instruction, quite honestly.
And the other one that came up a lot was just, what is the time tomorrow for Chromebook pickup?
It's on the website. I'm going to give you I think it's 8 a.m. to noon, and then they take a break. And then I think it's or something, 8 a.m. to 11, and then maybe noon to 2 or noon to 3, somewhere in there. It's not real late, I will tell you that. I think they're done by 3 o'clock every day. It is on the website. You might want to check that. I was pulling that. I think Mrs. Quinn is looking for it feverishly for me. We'll have the correct answer in just a minute. I know when the tents are out there that they're there, but I'll make sure we have the right time before I tell you that. Was there anything else, Jana, that you needed that was?
There weren't any that came up as duplicates like that. There are plenty of questions that I think Jen and her group will probably take a look at and get some answers to you. Amy and I answered 47 questions though.
Good job. Their record though is, what was your record during the
Like 120.
Yes, during one webinar. So,
Darn.
you know, yes. Don't add questions just to see if they can do it, please. So that might mean that we've done a good job explaining and did not do such a good job the time before. So yes, we have lots of questions. Amy, did you find it or not? She did not find it. So how about we send it out? I'll jump on and we'll see if we can locate it. Once we do, I will put it on our, we'll kind of send it out. I'll also put it on that Facebook group and we'll put it on our website. I'll make sure that we get it blasted out tonight so you know when it is. Maybe even, and it should be in the update tomorrow, the West Bloomfield update. If you've not signed up, you can get all the updates via text rather than having to go to your email to read our weekly updates. I would sign to get text alerts. It helps a lot. So I enjoy looking at our update on my phone better than I like looking at it via email. And so you might want to sign up through that as well. That's through Power School, and you can do that too. I think we're at a loss. We will find that answer for you, I promise. So with that, oh, Jen, go ahead.
I think I have it. Okay, so what's tomorrow's date?
The 14th.
14th. Okay, so it is for OEC and makeup are the students that are coming from 9 to 12 and then 1 to 3. And again, those are at West Bloomfield High School.
Perfect. Awesome. So with that, everyone, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks to our staff for coming again this evening. We appreciate that. We will be in touch with you. Please be patient. But we're excited. I'm very excited about the secondary scheduling and the progress we made today. So I think we're all feeling a little better about that at this point in time. We will be working feverishly to get them finished, get class lists done, get some communication out to all of you as well. So thank you, and we look forward to meeting you virtually again very soon. Have a great rest of your evening.
Good night, everybody.